This episode is powered by Act Now Education. Go to www.actnoweducation.com for free comprehensive educational resources and opportunities for active duty, veterans, military spouses, and children. Warriors fall in. It's time for our Act Now and Execute edition. I enjoy highlighting folks in our military community who are out there taking advantage of the educational opportunities available to them. And today I'm joined with a military spouse who is a member of Act Now Education and was recently presented with a job opportunity through Intuit. And it was all in part to a certification that was exclusively offered through the Act Now Education team. Danielle, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So Danielle, what is your current status? Your spouse is currently active duty in the Navy, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's a corpsman in the Navy, yeah. And he's been in maybe 11 years.
11 years, wow. So 11 years you've been dealing with the ins and outs of everything that has to do with being a military spouse.
Yes. It's definitely, honestly, been a challenge. I think like my dad, he would say, "Oh, don't marry into the military because it's going to be really hard." And I was like, "Oh, Dad, it'll be fine." But like I got in and there were like so many challenges, especially, with trying to continue education and, getting jobs.
Yeah, so how did you find out about Act Now Education? And now that you've been a part of the organization, what are your thoughts about it?
Um, I think that I just kind of was in a spot where I didn't know what I was gonna do. We were in the middle of like my husband was in California and I was staying with my parents because we were like in between PCS moves, and I was just like, oh, and I had my son at the time who was he hadn't turned 1 yet, and I was pregnant, and I was like, I need a job, but I don't know if I could leave my son, or and at this point, with our economy now, like I would need to have a job that like where I could afford childcare if I was going to work in person, and that's one of the things that was really a struggle for me. And then I was just kind of like Googling like opportunities, whether that be like continuing education. I think the first thing I found was like medical coding, and it was through like I think it's called SECO. I don't know if that's familiar, if I'm saying that wrong. And then basically just through the like deep dive in the rabbit hole, I found Military Act Now, right? Military Act Now.
Act Now, yes.
And I just was like blown away at like all the opportunities and like networking opportunities that they offered, and not just for, because at first I thought it was just for like active duty, but no, there were a lot of opportunities also for military spouses. And I'm someone who likes to learn and likes to study. So when I found out that they also offered the free account with the
Coursera, yep.
Coursera, I was really excited. And I'm not 100% sure how I found out that the bookkeeping course correlated, with like the job. Honestly, it kind of happened by accident. So I was excited, and I think that's how I found it. It was through Google. And since then, since being a part of this community, like I feel like I've been trying to get the word out, telling, military spouses that I know, my husband, even, I was like, there's stuff on there for you. I'm always tagging him in, like, oh, because he likes, like IT, cybersecurity kind of things. And I'm like, there's lots of stuff for that. And I just made a new friend on base, and she likes tech stuff. And I was like, there's stuff for you there too. So I just feel excited when I know that like it gives people hope, I think, to be able like to pursue something, and it's mostly all free. So that's great too.
Yeah, I can definitely tell in the excitement in the post that you wrote on the Act Now Education Facebook group, how excited you were to just share the information. But I think the excitement also comes from kind of like turning on a light switch where everything in the room is dark, and then all of a sudden you find that switch, and boom, now you've got this endless amount of opportunities out there, and you just want to share that light with the entire world, more or less, especially within our military community. So I really appreciate you doing that, and that just
Mhm.
shows a lot about your character as well, who you are as a person, because some
Mhm.
folks will do that. They will take advantage of the certification, and they'll just keep going straight. You,
Mhm.
on the other hand, you're reaching back, helping out your friends, helping out your community. So I really appreciate you for doing that, Danielle. And
Yeah.
the bookkeeping course that we're talking about specifically was through Act Now Education. Would you mind talking about the certification and explain to the folks out there listening who may not know what bookkeeping is, what it actually involves?
Mhm. So the course is definitely like a beginner course, but I think it does a really great job of teaching you basic accounting principles. And so what bookkeeping is basically helping, small company or small businesses keep track of their like money, how it's moving in, how it's moving out, um, and like your assets, your liabilities. Um, so you're basically just helping them, keep track of it, and then also, you help them like see patterns. So like um, there's financial statements that you can also provide and help explain to, see trends, whether that's within the business or within or like the industry. So I think it's pretty cool. I mainly like worked with children before this. So this was definitely like stepping out of like everything I knew. And I felt like Intuit, the course that they made, it really like walked you through like and made a good foundation to start bookkeeping. So it's like four courses, and each course has a like case study. And what I really liked about it was that they the way that they explained it was kind of like walking you through scenarios, which to me is like perfect because, you know, you kind of want that like practical knowledge too. So like, whenever you talk to a business and they're like, "Well, here's my shoebox full of receipts. What do I do with it?" And that's literally, I think, the first scenario that they walked you through and taught you all the concepts. And it was really great. I definitely, it's been a so I took that like starting in July, ended in October, and I was on and off studying for that. And it was a little bit tricky as far as like some numbers wouldn't line up. And so I was like, I think there were a few errors, but they probably fixed it by now. So I definitely use like YouTube to like deepen my knowledge and like accounting coach to really kind of make sure that I understood, what I was learning. So it was really great. It was a good course.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good course as far as bringing that nice soft landing for someone that's not really familiar with bookkeeping and
Mhm.
translating things in a way that you would really understand. And before this interview, Danielle, we talked about why you wanted to share this information, why you wanted to do this interview as well. You talked about locking arms. So would you mind sharing with everyone out there why you agreed to do this interview and why you're so ecstatic about the opportunities being offered through Act Now Education?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of a person that I overthink things and I have a lot of like self-doubt and before, being a part of this community, I felt really hopeless and I wasn't sure what I was going to do and I felt like time was running out and I honestly just was kind of in a depressive state and finding this community really started to bring light and hope like I could do something and finding this opportunity and like knowing at first I didn't believe it. I was kind of like, this seems too good to be true, but like, hey, I'm just gonna go for it anyways. um and like it worked and it happened and it like I can't tell you when I got the call, like I felt like I could breathe again and I just want if I could share that experience and that feeling of relief
Right.
and hope with someone else, like that will, that alone will make me feel accomplished. And I just feel like, especially this community, there's so many other spouses like me. And if we can just link arms and help each other, I feel like that's what we need in this community is a village and people who are out there like helping each other. And
Yes.
if I could do that for at least just one other person, that would make me feel great.
No, you
So,
definitely embody everything that I stand for with this podcast because that's what
mhm.
it's all about. The one thing that I missed when I was in the military, I missed standing in front of the formation and having a positive effect on the soldiers that I would lead. And, every day I felt like I was out trying to get them to take advantage of the education opportunities, look at the bigger picture. And so you actually embody the character of and the spirit of the exact person that I love to interview. And, this job that you were offered through Intuit, can you tell us about the position and what are your expectations or goals moving forward from here?
Sure. So I was offered the QuickBooks Live Senior Associate Bookkeeper. So let's see. I wanted to start off kind of slow and start off with like a 20-hour work week, but I was offered, so you can kind of pick. So in the beginning, it seems flexible, but it's kind of set once you get started. They have a 20-hour work week, 25, 29, and a 40-hour work week. And since I picked 20, I had the option of like a 5-day work week or a 4-day work week. The 5-day being like 4 hours, shifts. Yeah, and then the 4-day work week being 6-hour shifts. Um, and there's a video. There's a video called "Day in the Life of a QuickBooks Live Bookkeeper," and that one was really insightful. To like the person on there interviewed someone who's in this position, and she, has been working for like a year, and that one was really, really insightful. And the channel's called Bookkeeping Side Hustle. And my recruiter was like, because I was telling him like, oh yeah, I was watching this video, and she said a lot of the things that you were saying, and he was like, yeah, we actually work with that person, like to spread the news about the job position or something like that. So basically, that's kind of where I learned a little bit more in detail about like the position itself, and that so my role is more like beginner. So front office is kind of the position that I'll be, which is client facing. But on VertForce, the person who is the front office, which I think is what I would be, position, said that you're not on on the video the whole time.
Hmm.
It's like you make appointments, and I think they're like 15 to 20 minutes, and like you're a small little window on their screen. And you kind of help your clients with any questions that they have about, QuickBooks or their bookkeeping needs. And then I think you do like daily tasks, and you're part of a team. So, you have your like managers, and then I think you have like your front office people, and then your back office people. I can't remember what the back office people do. But maybe if I learn more, I can share that too.
I'm sure in due
So,
time, I'm sure in due time you'll figure it out and you'll get to know the entire virtual workforce. It sounds
mhm,
really exciting. It sounds really exciting, and I'm really really happy that you agreed to do this interview with me.
mhm.
And if anyone out there is, and by the way, for the video that you're talking about, I will go ahead and post all those in the show notes.
Okay, awesome. I
And as
can
well
link
as
it to you too.
yeah, if you would please, I'll
Hmm.
put it down in the show notes. And then Danielle, if anyone is out there interested in contacting you for anything that you mentioned today and just want to follow up with you on anything, how can they contact you?
Yes, I I forgot I was gonna look up my LinkedIn
Oh, that's okay. You know what I'll
right
do is
before, yeah.
I will put it
Link
down
it.
in yeah, I'll actually
Okay.
put it in the show notes. And
Yeah.
is there anywhere else where they can contact you?
Yeah, so you can contact me on LinkedIn, or if you're part of the group, and you can search my name, Danielle Alvarez, and just PM me on Facebook. I've been trying to keep up with answering questions and just trying to help whoever I can.
Yeah, a great way is to go to the Facebook, the Act Now Education group, add yourself to the group, And then Danielle is actually on there as well. And I know that your post has received a lot of comments as well, and you've been answering those. So that's a great place. That's a great place to reach out to Danielle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just to summarize everything, Danielle, is there anything that you want folks out there to know before we finish up this interview?
Honestly, if I can do it, you could do it. Like, I know people say that all the time, but I have zero experience in bookkeeping and accounting. And, I was telling him about like, oh, like my parents had a small business and I tried. No, like I kind of mentioned it, but no experience. So I know if I can do it, you can do it.
I absolutely love the
Mhm.
enthusiasm. You got me excited for you actually during this interview. You really did.
Yeah.
I love the enthusiasm and the motivation that you're bringing to the table,
Mhm.
Danielle. And I know Intuit is feeling the same way as far as bringing you onto the team.
Mhm.
And so for anyone
I
out
hope.
there, please check out Act Now Education. Go to www.actnoweducation.com, or you can go to the Facebook group, Act Now Education. There's a couple questions to answer, very simple questions to verify that you are a part of the military community. And then once you add yourself, you're going to see all the different posts on there from the Act Now team members. And that's how Danielle basically found this opportunity. And now she's being offered a job. And she's, as you could tell through this entire interview, she's extremely happy. And it's great to hear
Yeah.
that. So thank you,
Thank
Danielle,
you
for
so
giving us your
much.
time today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
And for everyone else out there, I want you to stay tuned, stay focused, and stay motivated. Warriors, fall out. You've been listening to the Morning Formation Podcast. I hope you found today's materials helpful and of value to your current situation. You can connect with me on Instagram at the_morning_formation_podcast, or you can connect with me via email at theformationpodcaster@gmail.com. Also, I would like to thank my partners at Act Now Education for their support. Authenticity, community, and trusted is what you can expect from all members of the Act Now Education team. You can link up with them today and learn about some new, free educational resources on their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or at their website, actnoweducation.com. Whether today's show took you back to a nostalgic time or helped you think about tomorrow, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again. Stay safe and stay motivated. Warriors, fall out.